God bless you, global Christian friends. You hear that melody and sound, you know it's Bible time. You know this is the kind of Bible that you can turn to and let God build your mind and build your spirit, build your heart and build your soul, build your word, build your wisdom, build your understanding so that you can understand Him better. You just heard what He said, to whom little is given, the same love little. You heard Him say that. All right? That's found in 747. All right. Now, in 8 and 6, some fell upon a rock. And I do want to get into that rock thing, but I don't want to get into it just yet. Because when you begin to look at the rock here and understand the rock here, we've gone into the munition of the rock. But He said, upon this rock I will build my church. Remember that statement? But He also spoke of something which appeared to be greater than that. But I'm not going to get into it yet, but I will. God said the same. And I hope you're interested enough to want to find out and pay attention so that you can. I will continue. And as soon as it sprung up, it withered. Why? Because it lacked moisture. Because it lacked moisture. Think about that. As soon as it sprung up, it withered away because it lacked moisture. Moisture is very, very, very important for your growth. Moisture is very, very, very important for the growth of all herbs. Now, I want to make one thing clear, too. The Bible speaks of all seeds before they were in the ground, which means what? It means that there were not at that time herbal eating animals, because the seed has not been sown so that they may be able to eat the herbs. Now you'll find that in the early book of Genesis, the seeds before they grew. All right. And you know, the good thing about God is He just continues to teach the way that He desires those that want to hear, desire to learn. The lack of moisture, the lack of moisture, the lack of moisture, you wither away. The lack of moisture. That may be why some of your hands are withered, or some of your feet are withered, because you lack the moisture. Is that what Jesus speaks when He makes them whole? Does He speak moisture into those limbs? Those withered limbs? Stretch forth thine hand. He did say, my words are spirit and they are life. Spirit has a moisture. Some are dry moisture. Some are a little less dampened moisture. You know that to be a fact when you begin to understand what Jesus said about the spirit that left a man. Where did he go? Went about in dry places. Came back. You know the story. 7 times greater than it was before. Verse 7, Luke 8:7. Some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up with it and choked it. Think about that. thorn. That's just the way they operate. That's just the way thorns operate. They don't play fair. They don't know how to play fair because fair play is not in them. They don't grow fair. Put it that way either. They don't grow fair because it's not in them to grow fair. All right? They're always looking for something to latch on to try to grasp so that they may be able to grow. Restrain what you've got. They're a thief is what they are. All right? But verse 8. I love the love effect of love, verse 47, 747. I love the love effect. 8 and 8, Luke. Others fell on good ground and sprung up and bare fruit 100-fold. Now, you notice that? I want you to understand this statement because it is going to be able to make a big difference in Luke chapter 6, verse 45. Because there it says in Luke 6:45, we'll come to this again, a good man out of the good treasure of his heart bringeth forth that which is good. 3 times the word good is mentioned there. Good man, good treasure, good heart. But here we see in Luke chapter 8, verse 8, some fell on good ground and bear good fruit. Good man, good treasure, good heart, good ground, good fruit. Everything's good, isn't it? All right? Everything is good. How many of y'all ever tell the Lord, thank you for the growth on the planet Earth, fruit trees? Thank you for the growth of the herbal that are there on the ground, coming out of the ground. A lot of us have not done that. And when he had said these things, he cried. Here he cried again. He cried. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. Now, isn't that the same as the 47th verse? But I say unto ye that hear, all right, Luke 6:47. But I say unto you that hear the higher things of God, and I say unto you that hear the good things of God to bring forth. You got to put them together. It's not just wondering. That's the problem with us. We're so busy trying to teach the people narrow-mindedness until we're not trying to teach them the broad spectrum of God's knowledge and God's word. As we said before, don't press only for the mark of the high calling of God, but press to run the race of patience that is set before you, inclusively. God bless you, global Christian friends and pastors.